Even so, season 2 of Devil May Cry finally brings Vergil fully into the spotlight, and honestly, that alone makes the new season worth watching. After spending most of season 1 teasing Dante's legendary brother from the shadows, the series wastes absolutely no time turning him into the center of the story. His introduction is brutal, stylish, and exactly the kind of over the top entrance fans hoped for. The moment Vergil starts fighting, the show immediately reminds viewers why he's one of the franchise's most beloved characters. The problem is that the season sometimes gets so focused on explaining Vergil that it slows the story down in the process. Season 2 picks up after Dante's imprisonment by Darkom, while humanity continues its war against Makai. With demons becoming even a bigger threat, billionaire Arias and his Ouroboros corporation step into the spotlight, providing technology powerful enough to shift the balance of the conflict. At the same time, Mundus sends Vergil to Earth to help secure victory for Hell, setting up the inevitable clash between the brothers. And to the show's credit, the early episodes absolutely deliver. Vergil's arrival instantly changes the tone of the series. Unlike Dante's chaotic, sarcastic energy, Vergil moves through every scene with cold precision. The show does a great job emphasizing how differently the brothers developed after Eva's death. Dante became reckless and emotional while Virgil transformed into something far more ruthless under Munda's influence. That emotional divide became heart of the season. Unfortunately, the series sometimes struggles with pacing while exploring it. There are so many flashbacks to Dante and Virgil's childhood that part of the story start feeling repetitive. The season repeatedly circles back to the same emotional beats. Dante was a naturally gifted, Virgil felt weaker, Eva protected him more, and her death shattered both brothers in opposite ways. Those themes are important, but the show keeps revisiting them so often that the middle stretch occasionally feels padded. Ironically, some of the season's best material has nothing to do with the brothers at all. Arias ends up becoming one of the most interesting surprises of the season. In the games, he was never exactly the franchise's strongest villain, but the Netflix adaptation massively improves him by expanding his backstory and the origins of the Ouroboros. The show makes him feel genuinely dangerous instead of just another corrupt businessman dabbling in dark magic. The military subplot still feels awkward at times though. One of the recurring issues with this adaptation is how hard it pushes Darkom and government warfare alongside the more gothic fantasy elements. Sometimes the militaristic side blends well with the demon lore, but other times it feels like the show is trying too hard to ground a franchise that works best when it fully embraces stylish supernatural chaos. Thankfully, the action remains incredible enough to carry even the slower episode. Studio Mir somehow improves on the already impressive animation from season 1. The biggest upgrade comes from the CGI integration. Last season, some of the 3D demon models felt distracting compared to the hand drawn animation. This time, the CGI blends far more naturally into the visual style, making the action sequences smoother and more cinematic, and the fights are exactly what fans want. Dante flipping through gunfire while juggling enemies mid-air still looks fantastic, but the real highlight is finally watching Dante and Virgil clash properly. Every sword fight between them feels fast, emotional, and visually stunning in a way that captures the spirit of the games almost perfectly. The soundtrack still helps sell that energy too, even if it doesn't quite hit as hard as season 1. The first season had some genuinely unforgettable music moments that instantly became tied to certain scenes. Season 2 still delivers strong tracks, especially during Virgil's introduction, but the needle drops aren't quite as consistently memorable this time around. Still, the overall vibe remains intact. The series still understands that Devil May Cry should feel cool at almost all times, even when the story gets messy. That's ultimately what makes season 2 work despite its flaws. Yes, the pacing is uneven. Yes, some flashback drag longer than necessary. And yes, the military conspiracy storyline still doesn't fully mesh with the gothic demon fantasy at the core of the franchise. But the season also delivers gorgeous animation, emotionally charged brother conflict, stylish combat, and a version of Vergil that absolutely lives up to expectation. It may not surpass season 1 overall, but it definitely proves this adaptation still understands why fans love Devil May Cry in the first place. Thank you for watching. Bye.